Hey, I'm Logan with PRZM Builders, and we work with high-end builders and premium remodelers to build predictable demand systems. These systems ensure that your scheduling and your cash flow are controlled, not random. This is not about buying cheap leads or chasing volume. And if you and your team are already doing quality work, more leads usually just means more noise, more unqualified conversations, and more time wasted. What most builders actually need is a system, and a system that controls when qualified work shows up, so you can plan starts, protect margins, and keep crews steady. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down why the feast or famine cycle happens, why more leads can make it worse, and what predictable growth looks like. So let's start with the real issue, which is not marketing tactics, it's the schedule. This is what I see constantly with quality builders. One month you're overloaded, the next month you're looking at the calendar wondering what is coming next. Then it spikes, then it happens again. And the stressful part is that it can even happen when you have a strong reputation. It's not that you cannot sell or you cannot build, it's that the flow of demand is uneven. Unpredictable demand breaks three things fast: scheduling, labor planning, and cash flow. And when you're slammed, projects get rushed and communication suffers. When it's quiet, you start making decisions that you most likely wouldn't have just to keep the machine running. This is a systems problem, not a skill problem. So when that pain shows up, the natural response is to say, I just need more leads. But that's usually where things get worse. More leads is not the fix. More leads feel like the obvious solution because gaps are scary. The problem is that volume and quality are not the same thing. When you turn up volume without control, you mostly increase unqualified conversations. You get more tire kickers, you get more people shopping for price, more follow-up, more time on the phone, and the real opportunities get buried because your attention gets spread too thin. On top of that, high volume marketing usually creates price pressure. If the messaging is broad enough to attract everyone, it also attracts the wrong people. And now you're wasting time trying to qualify on calls instead of filtering before you ever get there. So volume without control creates noise, not predictability. The real goal isn't being busy, the real goal is being stable. Predictable work is the real luxury. For a premium builder, predictable work is the ideal situation. Because a steady pipeline protects your margins because you're not discounting to fill gaps. It protects quality because you're not rushing jobs when you're overloaded. And it protects your team because you're not whiplashing back and forth from feast to famine. Predictability gives you scheduling control. You can plan starts, you can manage capacity, and you can decide what work you want to take on based on fit, not fear. And when you operate this way, the business becomes to feel calm, not because you're doing less, but because the intake is controlled. Now, some builders will say, we don't market much, we run on referrals. And referrals are great, but there is a reality there too. Referrals are strong, just not predictable. Referrals are valuable, and you should keep trying to get them. They tend to be higher trust and higher quality. But referrals are not predictable. They don't respect your capacity, they don't respect your timing, they come in waves, and then they go quiet, even if your work is excellent. So the goal is to not replace referrals. The goal is to add a managed system that stabilizes intake when referrals slow down. That's what creates control. Referrals plus a managed system. So what does that system actually look like at a high level? It's not complicated, but it has to be done correctly. The predictable growth equation. So this is the predictable growth equation. Step one is the right message. Messaging is not just branding. It sets expectations. It filters intent, and it attracts the right buyer and repels the wrong one. Step two is the right market. If you're too broad, quality it's random. If you're focused on the right geography and the right buyer, the signal improves. And when those two things are correct, you can produce qualified demand, not just inquiries. Consistent inquiry flow from people who are actually a fit. This is engineered upstream. The goal is that filtering happens before the first phone call, not on the phone. Now there's a second layer that matters just as much, especially if you care about premium positioning. It's exclusivity. One region, one partner. Shared markets create shared incentives, and the outcome is almost always dilution. If multiple builders are being pushed through the same channel, you create comparisons. You create price pressure, you create a race to the bottom. Even if the builders are all good, the system forces them to compete on the wrong variables. Exclusivity changes that. One builder per region keeps positioning clean. Prospects engage more seriously when they know you are the builder, not one of many options. The result is cleaner lead quality, fewer comparisons, and better fit from the beginning. Shared leads dilute quality, exclusivity protects the pipeline. Next, I want to make this really practical. Predictable growth isn't a magic ad campaign, it's a system. How predictability is built. Predictability is designed. The first component is message filtering intent. If your positioning is right, it filters before the first meeting. It sets standards, and it tells the wrong people to self-select out. The second component is capture. In a premium market, people come in different ways. Some want to DM first, some want to check a page first, And a dual capture system means 2 paths, 1 pipeline. You meet prospects where they're at without clogging your calendar. The output is qualified demand. Serious buyers reach you at the right time with the right kind of project. Qualification starts before the first call. Marketing is a system. So marketing should be managed like a build. You plan, you execute, you inspect, and you adjust. That's how you maintain standards in construction. And it's the same in growth. Plan means standards in positioning. Execute means consistent output so you can actually measure. Inspect means you track lead quality, close rate, and time to close, not just lead count. Adjust means you refine messaging and capture based on what is happening in the real world, not set and forget. Predictability is maintained through inspection and adjustment. So let me show you what I mean by engineered upstream. This is what I mean when I say marketing is a system. Most builders think a pipeline is just more exposure and more leads. But for a premium builder, the goal is the opposite. We want less volume, better fit, and more control. At the top is market visibility. People have to know you exist in the right places. Next is positioning and proof. This is where you set expectations. You show the kind of work you do, who you do it for, and you let the wrong buyers self-select out. Then we move into project fit. Not every project is a fit, even if the budget is there. This stage filters based on scope, complexity, and whether the client matches how you operate. After that is budget and timeline. This is where you avoid wasted calls. If the budget or start window does not align, you should know before you spend time in meetings. Then you get a qualified inquiry. These are serious buyers who match the work you want with realistic numbers and timing. And at the bottom is booked. Not because we pushed volume, but because the system narrowed the pipeline on purpose. That is the point. We build the filters upstream, so your calendar is not the filter. Less volume, better fit, more control. And once you understand this, the next step is managing it like operations, not set and forget. So the question becomes, who is this actually for, and who should ignore it? This approach is for quality first builders and premium remodelers who want scheduling control, people who protect margin and reputation, and who want a stable pipeline that fits their capacity. It's not for cheap lead buyers, it's not for shared market programs, and it's not for volume first shops. If you want controlled intake and predictable demand, the next step is simple. Check region availability. The link is down below. We only work with one builder per region, so availability is limited. Either way, I hope this gave you a clear picture of why predictable growth beats more leads for a premium operation.